Hey friends, my name is Z and you're watching Yi Makes It Easy. And welcome to a new video for IGCSE Business Studies, and today we have 3.4 for marketing strategy. And by the end of the lesson you should be able to describe these specifications, including 3.4.1, justify marketing strategies appropriate to a given situation, 3.4.2, the nature and impact of legal controls related to marketing, and 3.4.3, the opportunities and problems of entering new foreign markets. So check out the pinned comment for all the timestamps and don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. But we'll move on now to 3.4.1, justifying the marketing strategies, starting with the importance of different elements of the marketing mix in influencing the consumer decision in given circumstances. And the marketing strategy is a plan to combine the right combination of the four elements of the marketing mix for a product or service to achieve particular marketing objectives. The marketing strategy developed by a business will depend on the size of the market and the number and the size of competitors. It will need to identify the marketing objectives of the business, the target market, and the finance available, and this is called the marketing budget. The marketing objective could include increasing sales of an existing product or service, increasing sales of the product or service by improving it, achieving a target market share with a newly launched product, increasing market share, maintaining market share if competition is increasing, and increasing sales in a niche market. Then we have the importance of the marketing mix in influencing the consumer decision. The four elements of the marketing mix are important in influencing consumer decision when developing a marketing strategy aimed at a specific target market. If the marketing strategy does not combine the elements of the marketing mix correctly, then the marketing objectives will not be achieved. For example, a product which meets customer needs and is priced at a suitable price which the target market is prepared to pay, but the potential customers are not informed about it, promotion is ineffective. Or a product which does not meet the needs of the target market will not sell at any price, even if it's heavily advertised, because it doesn't meet the target market. The marketing strategy, which is the combination of the four elements of the marketing mix, will need adapting throughout a product's life cycle to ensure that a consumer's decisions are being influenced positively. And here's just a diagram of the target market, the four P's in the marketing mix, and the marketing strategy. Then we recommend and justify an appropriate marketing strategy in given circumstances. And if you are asked to recommend and justify a marketing strategy for a business, consider and develop these points in your answer. Number one, the marketing objective, like is it to increase sales or to launch new products? Number two, marketing budget. For example, can TV advertising be afforded, or would social media be more cost effective? Target market, whether high income consumers or families with young children. And number four, the balanced marketing mix. For example, do all four elements of the mix, like the marketing mix, fit together and tell the same story about the product? Then we have 3.4.2, the nature and impact of legal controls. And here's the impact of legal controls on marketing. Consumers can easily be misled, and it is quite easy to sell consumer goods that are either unsuitable for the purpose intended or that fail to perform as the manufacturer claimed. This is not because the consumers are stupid, but it is rather because products are now so complicated and technical that it is very difficult for a consumer to know how good they are or how they are likely to work. Consumers need protection against businesses who could, unfortunately, take advantage of the consumer's lack of knowledge and lack of accurate product information. And here's more information about the legal controls, and I'll just skim through this. In the UK, the laws on consumer protection are typically of those existing in most countries and include some of the following forms of consumer protection. Number one, the weights and measures. The retailers and producers commit an offense if they sell an underweight goods or if the weighing equipment they use is inaccurate. Trade descriptions, as it is illegal to give the consumer a deliberate misleading impression about the product. For example, it's illegal to state that a pair of trousers is made out of wool when it's made out of cotton. The sale of goods, as it is illegal to sell the products which have serious flaws or problems, that is, they are not of satisfactory quality, products which are not fit for the purpose intended by the consumer, products which do not perform as described on the label or by the retailer. For example, if the label states these shoes are completely waterproof and they leak on the first time they use, which is not really up to what they claim that it would be or it would do. Number 4, the Supply of Goods and Service Act. And this act does the same for services as the Sales of Goods Act does for products. A service must be provided with reasonable skill and care. And it is illegal to make misleading prices claims, such as $40 off for this week, when the product was being sold for the same price the previous week. And lastly, the Consumer Contract Regulations, formerly Distance Selling Regulations, and it allows customer a cooling off period for 14 working days when products are not bought in face-to-face situation, such as with internet shopping. This means they can change their mind about purchasing the goods or service. For example, this is for to get a return or refund if the product is unsatisfactory. And here are some examples of consumer protection from laws from Pakistan and South Africa. And I'll just skim through this as well. And firstly, under the Consumer Protection Act 2005, councils were set up in different regions of Pakistan. And if consumers are not satisfied with the product or service they have purchased, and the business has not dealt with the complaint in a satisfactory way, then the consumer can register a complaint with the council. And number 2, the Consumer Protection Act 2011 in South Africa. Here, consumers have up to 6 months to return fault or unsafe goods, and they have a choice between the supplier repairing or replacing these, or refunding you in full. And companies are also have to deliver goods that match the sample or description of the product, and you have the right to examine your purchases before accepting them, and to reject them if you are not happy with it. Then we have 3.4.3, the opportunities and the problems. And here's the growth potential of new markets in other countries. And here's opportunities. These days, a large number of businesses market their products in many different countries. And why has there been this trend towards more globalization of business? And it could be number 1, markets in other countries might have greater growth potential than existing markets. Number 2, the home markets might be saturated, and these new markets give the chance for higher sales. Number 3, there's a wide choice of location to produce products, and this encourages businesses to sell as well as produce in these countries. And the business will have more information about these markets and be better placed to sell them as well. Number 4, the trade barriers have been lowered in many countries or many parts of the world, making it easier and more profitable now to enter these markets. Then we have problems of entering foreign markets. Number 1, the lack of knowledge, and the business may not be aware of the competitors or the habits of consumers in these markets. For example, where do most people do their shopping? Number 2, the cultural difference. Religion or culture may mean that some products won't sell in other markets. For example, alcohol products will not be sold in most Middle Eastern countries. And number 3, the exchange rate changes. If the exchange rate is not very stable, then exchange rate changes can mean the prices of imported goods changes, and the products can become too expensive to sell in the new market. And import restrictions. If there are tariffs or quotas on imported products, then the prices of these products may be higher than domestically produced goods, reducing both sales or profits. And this we have increased risk of non-payment. Methods of payment may be different in these new markets, and it may be more difficult to be certain that payment for imported goods will be made. And then lastly, we have increased transport costs. As products have to be transported over a long distance, the cost of getting products to market will increase. However, there have been benefits from using containers to transport products, and that the container ships are getting larger, and all this had led to reductions in the transport costs. Then with the benefits and limitations of methods to overcome such problem. Then first we have joint venture. For example, McDonald's have 50-50 joint venture with 2 Indian restaurant chains. And this allowed the business to gain important local knowledge so that the culture and customs can be adapted to enable a more successful entry into the market. And the risks of entering the markets abroad are therefore reduced, but also shared between the partner businesses. But main limitations include the management conflict between the two businesses, and the profits are shared. Then we have licensing, and this is where the business gives permission for another company in the new market being entered to produce the branded or patented products under license. This means the products do not have to be physically transported to the new market, which saves time and transport costs and can get around the trade restrictions. But main limitations include the quality problems caused by an inexperienced licensee could damage brand reputation, and the licensee now has access to information about how the product is made, and it could develop a better version and become a competitor. And then we have international franchising. This means that foreign franchises are used to operate a business franchise abroad. For example, Dunkin' Donuts, which is a US-based baked goods and coffee franchise, sold the franchise in the UAE so that franchisees operate all the outlets. This means that again, the local knowledge is used to choose the best place to locate the Dunkin' Donut outlets. And main limitations include the quality problems or poor service offered by the franchisees could damage the brand image or reputation, and training and support will need to be provided by the franchisor. Then we have localizing existing brands. As a phrase, thinking global, acting local, which is being used by several global businesses, it means that there's still a common brand image for the business, but it has adapted into local taste and culture, therefore increasing sales. And main limitations include it may be less successful than the new product made to meet local cultures and market conditions, and it's expensive to change packaging, promotion, and so on for each market that the product is sold in. And lastly, here's some definitions for 3.4 marketing strategy. And we have marketing strategy. And the marketing strategy is planned to combine the right combination of the 4 elements of the marketing mix for a product or service to achieve a particular marketing objectives. And the 4 elements include the 4 P's in the marketing mix, like price, promotion, place, and product. And that's it for this video for IGCSE Business Studies, where today we look into 3.4 Marketing Strategy. And this is our last video on Section 3. And in our next lesson, we will move on to Section 4. But I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. And if you did, please leave a like and subscribe. And comment down below if you have any questions or criticisms. And also check out my Instagram in the description for more daily content. And don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe if you found it helpful and useful. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, stay safe and happy learning.